Okay. No. The key for trust in Hashem is the lungs. The lungs are da'at. Why are the lungs providing you with hope? Because the lungs are the key to your mind. This is 225. Why are the lungs the key to your mind? Because the lungs, they inhale fresh air. Guys, off your phone, Benny. Okay. Avram, stop looking at his phone. Just look up. The lungs, they inhale fresh air and they exhale carbon dioxide. They cool off the heart, right? Then the inhaled oxygen is transferred to the blood in the heart, and this then pumps the oxygen-filled blood to the brain. So you see the beginning of a healthy heart and a healthy mind is the lungs. Rav Ginsburg, he says that in Chassidut, they have like a saying that each of the tzaddikim, the Hasidic masters, corresponds to a different body part. That the Baal Shem Tov is like the master of the heart. He's like the heart. And the Baal HaTanya, he's like the mind. And Rav Nachman is like the lungs. His whole function and why he helps so many people is because he represents healthy lungs. He represents da'at, and as a result of that, he frees your mind and takes you out of exile. He is the concept of the lungs, okay? Thus, the moisture that rises to the brains is as a result of the lungs, okay? Now, why does it work like this, spiritually? Because the aspect of moisture from your lungs is the concept of oil, okay? The Zohar says that your brain is like a wick. It's like a candle wick, okay? How do you light a candle wick? The wick needs to be moist. Everybody following me?
Oil, right?
Right? So it needs oil. So only when the wick has oil can the brain, can the mind, can the wick be lit. You need your mind to be lit in order for you to be able to connect to Hashem in order to be happy. So the reason why you're not happy is because your mind, your wick, is not lit. Why isn't it lit? Because there's no moisture on the wick. What causes the moisture in the wick? It is the lungs.
Okay, so spiritually, how do we...
We're going to talk about it in a second. Thus, this is itself, the intellect is maintained by the moisture of the body. And the moisture itself depends on the lungs. Okay? Now, it says, thus it is that through the lungs the moisture is maintained and not dried out by the heart. This maintains the intellect. Okay, good. That's what we're saying. So therefore, the ability for you to trust Hashem is completely dependent on the mind, and your mind is dependent on your lungs. Okay. How do you get healthy lungs? Everybody with me? The answer is through da'at. Through da'at. Through da'at.
Through no smoke.
Through da'at. And how does a person get da'at?
By doing Shabbat Tzaddik.
Through speech. Through speech. So the way to da'at, to healthy lungs, is through speech. It's through holy speech. It says here, then one can transform all of the tones, the sounds that come out of the throat. Why? Because what are the sounds that come out of the throat? Every animal can also have sounds that's coming out of its throat. The only difference between animals and us is that we actually turn it into, we articulate it into speech, okay? The main difference between man and animal is the articulation of speech. That's what makes man, man. Therefore, birds and animals, they also have tones, but they can't articulate speech. So therefore, how does a person articulate his speech? To achieve this, a person needs to give tzedakah. Like it says, Naaseh, let us make man. Right? But it also says elsewhere about Boaz and Ruth, it said of the man whom I worked with today, Asiti. So just like he's speaking about a man there, we have a Gezer Shava that in the beginning, that's also talking about man. Let us make man is the concept of an action. Rav Nachman says, what is the principal action of this world? What's the principal mitzvah of the world of Asir, the world of action? It's tzedakah. And Rav Natan says, in fact, every mitzvah that you do is tzedakah because it's tzedakah to your soul. You're doing a kindness to your soul whenever you do a mitzvah. So that is an act of tzedakah. Just as here too it's tzedakah, so too here it's tzedakah. Now, This is with your mouth, meaning tzedakah, because it's through tzedakah that the mouth achieves the concept of speech. Now, why is that? Why should it be that giving tzedakah should allow me to achieve perfected speech, which then allows my lungs to provide moisture for my mind? The answer is because your inability to speak comes from Pagama Brit. And tzedakah is what fixes it. Because tzedakah, you're taking your seed and you're using it properly, whereas before that, you were using it improperly. Okay? So when you give tzedakah, you unlock your ability to speak. And when your speech is unlocked, now you're going to be able to have a clear mind. And now you can trust Hashem. That's why you're supposed to give tzedakah before you pray.
Tzedakah before it bodily is also good.
Anytime that you open your mouth, it's good to give money first. For if a person has no trust, he cannot give tzedakah properly, right? How am I going to give tzedakah if I think I'm losing out money? Right? Thus, for the most part, the ability to give tzedakah itself comes from bitachon, comes from trust. That a person trusts in Hashem, that not only is he not going to lose out from the tzedakah that he gives, but Hashem is going to bless him for it, meaning he's going to give him more.
It's like the concept of blood. When you give blood, right, which is the aspect of your neshama, you give tzedakah, Hashem replenishes that blood. Gives you more.
Okay, good. Thus it is that with trust, which is the product of the mind, people give tzedakah, which produces speech. That's why the pasuk says, "My throat is parched, my eyes hurt." What's the connection?
Because wisdom.
Wisdom is the eyes. So what does it mean? It means that because my throat is parched, my eyes hurt. Because I can't speak, my eyes hurt, meaning I have no wisdom. So how do you fix this? The way to fix this is through tzedakah.
Yitzhak gave the bracha to Yaakov while being blind.
Sit down. Okay. So I want everybody to connect. Well, just wait. Yes, it's the end of that Torah. Yeah, that was the end of that Torah. Okay. So we have a formula right here. Right. Your ability to trust Hashem, which is what allows you to be happy, right? When a person goes through a difficulty in their life, and a person is happy versus another person, he goes through a difficulty in his life, and he becomes sad, what's the difference between them? One of them trusts Hashem in that moment, and the other one doesn't trust Hashem. Because if you trusted Hashem, you would be happy. True or not true?
Amen.
How many of you agree, you don't agree?
I agree.
You agree. Do you agree, Abraham? If you actually trust in Hashem, you wouldn't be unhappy. So I'm explaining. So you need to trust Hashem. So Rav Nachman is saying, where does trust come from? It comes from Torah. It comes from Da'at. The more that you know Hashem, the more you're going to trust Hashem. It's like anybody, right? So therefore, the more that you learn Torah, and specifically Chassidut, the more you're going to trust in Hashem. But your ability to know and to trust in Hashem comes from that you have healthy lungs. What is the function of healthy lungs? Healthy lungs is da'at. Okay? And how do you get da'at? How do you get healthy lungs? You can only do it by rectifying your mouth. How do you rectify speech? Through tzedakah.
That's another reason why it says the ruach of Hashem covers the water.
Right. Yeah, very good. Very good. Okay.
By giving tzedakah, you get that?
Yes. No, by giving tzedakah, you can speak, and through speech, you get da'at. What do you say? V'rastich li be'emunah v'yada'at et Hashem. I'm binding myself to you, Hashem, and through emunah, meaning through speech, I'm going to come to know you. So therefore, the main way to come to know Hashem is through speech, meaning hibodedut. Okay, so again, this comes back to hibodedut. How am I going to be happy? Through hibodedut. Hibodedut is going to allow me to know Hashem, and through knowing Hashem, I'm going to be able to trust Hashem. Through trusting Hashem, I'm going to be able to be happy. So if you do not do hibodedut every day, you're not going to be able to trust Hashem and be happy.
Flipping statement. Because the whole...
Okay. Who at the table is doing an hour of hibodedut today? 3. Okay. Since you started doing an hour of hibodedut a day, compared to how you felt prior to that, How do you feel? You started doing it recently, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel now compared to before?
Great.
You feel great. How do you feel?
You feel inner peace. You feel happy. You feel Hashem's presence everywhere. You feel light. You feel not heavy.
And how did you feel before that?
Very heavy.
Very heavy. And what else? Did you have Yishuv Da'at?
No Yishuv Da'at, no peace of mind, no bilbul. Mixed thoughts, mixed feelings. Everything was just a blur.
Okay, Benny, your turn. It's like an AA meeting.
My name is Benjamin. Just
I'm addicted to Ibodadu.
Before I felt a lot more arrogant.
Yeah.
I felt like
Very haughty. Ani Meloch, I rule. Yeah.
But Ani is really Ayin.
Okay, we don't need your Divrei Torah right now.
I understand that there's no such thing called Ani.
Right.
It's just
You're nothing.
Ayin, right. So
Good.
the more I do Ibodadu,
The more you internalize that.
yeah, the more I realize
What else? How about your emotional state?
emotional, for sure, much better.
Much better.
HaShem vibe is on point.
Right.
Children are becoming better.
Yeah.
Switch turtlenecks.
I can tell you, as a person who experienced the most intense, highest level of sadness, the difference. I'm telling you, and I'm not just like trying to push Rav Nachman's Torah. The only difference between me being in a hospital bed right now in a mental ward and teaching you guys how to be happy is the fact that I do an hour of Yibodadut. I'm not exaggerating. That hour of Yibodadut saved my life. Completely changed my life. Brought me from Gehenna to Gan Eden. So I don't know how much motivation you need to get yourself to do it, but you're never going to feel the beauty and the benefits of Rav Nachman's Torah until you do that hour of Yibodadut. Yes. You have to do an hour straight, yeah.
It's a sales pitch.
You should graduate.
You have to. We spoke a lot about that, but you have to be working towards it. You can't just not do it. It's a big thing to come to the classes. It's amazing.
I never did an hour straight right away.
But it's like having a body and a soul. You can't have one without the other. You need both the truth and you need faith. The faith comes from the speaking. The truth comes from the learning. And I'm telling you, if you do Hippodu for an hour and you come to these classes, you're Gucci, as Benny would say. You don't need anything else. The number one thing is to do this hour. You got to get yourself to do it, whatever it takes. Right? Maybe make a bet with yourself. I'm gonna give $50 if I don't do an hour a day, every day. Every time I'm gonna throw it into a thing and give it to whatever.
So Yitzhak is gonna make you broke and pray.
Whatever you won't give up, I'm not willing to give up. Whatever you're not willing to give up, you gotta do whatever it takes. You have to understand your Yetzer Hara. Your Yetzer Hara does not want. Maybe we could do like a 30-day, like grow your beard out, but do a 30-day Hippodu. Yeah?
For real, everybody should say, if I don't do that 1 hour, I'll put $10 in tzedakah. Like when I do 50.
But then you're going to be happy to give
I only have
tzedakah.
50.
No, give it like it's going to go to somebody who you hate or something like
What
that.
do you mean? But if it's every day, that accumulates to 70.
Whatever, I'm just saying, like a
I'm
person.
able to do on Shabbat. I don't go anywhere. I can't go anywhere. I can't go to a separate place.
You can.
And I have a lot of people in my house. Am I able to do it?
No, you have to do it out loud. Yeah, alone. What would? Let me ask you. If we all did something together, would that motivate you more to do Hippodu? Like we all doing an hour a day, everybody's doing it. I'm like everybody.
Road trip.
Like a challenge, yeah. Like a third. How about this? How much time do we have till Hanukkah?
Week and a half.
A week and a half?
Sunday after this one. Sunday.
Can we all pledge right now that we're all gonna do 1 hour of Hippodu today until Hanukkah? Can we do that? Is that possible?
Do it before prayer?
Wherever you want.
That's what I'm saying. You do it before morning prayer?
No, I usually do it after. It would be better to do before, but I'm not able to right now. If you're capable, you can just get up in the morning. I'm on stuff. I'm on meds. So 1 hour every day, whatever time you want. 1 straight hour, okay?
You don't have to get up in the morning. You can do it all day.
I told him that. I just said that.
I'm doing it every day.
Right.
And, no, really. Every time I feel to talk food.
No, 1 hour straight.
Huh?
1 hour straight.
Go straight to go. Why?
Because Rav Nachman says to.
Because he said so. Well, they have other people that say something else.
Where are you getting that from?
Where'd you learn that? What's important?
I want to read.
I mean, this is good for somebody that I'm already connected.
It's good for everybody. One second. There was a lesson I wanted to teach you very quickly, but I gotta find it. Listen, this is the thing. I'm trying to think how I want to say this.
Just say it. Just do it.
I'm trying to figure out how to convey the importance without like understating it. I don't know how to say it. Yes, the hour of people to do it. It is
The best.
Especially when you go to the
called,
mikveh.
When you have a big problem, you have to be 2 hours maybe.
if you don't do it, your life is gonna suck.
I was just thinking.
And if you do it, your life is gonna be really good.
What
No,
a
I'm
statement.
serious.
What a statement.
I don't know. What? The reason, look, I'll be honest with you. The reason you're not happy is because you don't do an hour Ribo to do a day. If you did an hour Ribo to do a day, you would be very happy.
I think I did today.
No, I'm just saying in general. The reason a person is not happy is because they don't do it an hour Ribo. That's the only
You gotta
reason.
be consistent about it too.
That's what I'm saying. You have to do it every day. That's the only reason. It's not, my life is not better than yours. I don't have an easier life than you. There's not less difficulties in my life. I simply talk to Hashem for an hour a day. If I didn't, I would be in complete disarray. I would be tremendously sad.
Even if you say the same thing over and over.
Whatever it takes, get that hour in. You talk to Hashem for an hour, whatever it takes. If Nachman says it's the highest, greatest thing in the world, there's nothing like.
Explain to them what they have to say during that hour.
We spoke about it. He already knows. You have to thank Hashem. You have to work. You have to talk about the things that you're struggling with, and you have to ask Hashem for help. Those
I
are,
try to do it, but I think in the past 10, 15 minutes, it's...
you can't try to do it. If you want, no, because the issue is trying. You're not trying. You do it. If I had a gun to your head, could you speak to Hashem for an hour?
Oh man, you're
I need more.
No, listen. They need like a sample, right? Like a sample.
I'm giving you a template.
Oh,
Ready? Here's the template. 20 minutes, you thank Hashem for everything in your life. Both the good and the bad.
That's the best one.
Okay? 20 minutes, you're talking about all the things that you're struggling with in your life. All the things that you're struggling with in your avoda with Hashem. All the things that you're struggling with in general. 20 minutes of that. You got it. Trust me, you can do it. 20 minutes of asking Hashem for whatever you need. You need much more than 20 minutes of that. Okay? That is your hour. This is my hour every day. Sometimes a little more of something, and sometimes a little less of something. Right? An hour is not even enough for me. I don't want to overwhelm you, but like an hour is like the least I do at this point because you just need it. You need it all the time. Right? Rav Nachman is trying to get us to a place that we have the vekut with Hashem. We're constantly with Hashem. That means that you're talking to Him all the time. And when you're talking to Him all the time, you're happy because Hashem is the truth, and the truth makes you happy. And when you constantly have the truth, you're always happy. I feel like I sound like the happy hippo. Like I don't know. And then you're happy.
I was
like
that
the hip.
towards the end of the hour, all of a sudden everything just comes out even more. You just have more stuff to say, and you just don't stop. You can't stop talking.
Because you hit a
At the beginning, it's
threshold.
very,
There's a threshold that you hit. We have to also understand, okay? Rav Nachman says later in Likutey Moharan, you can't possibly comprehend the eitzah of a tzaddik. When a tzaddik gives you advice and he tells you should do this, you don't know what he knows and what's involved in that eitzah. So for Rav Nachman to say this is the greatest thing in the world, there's nothing that's more important for you in your life than to do the hour of Hibodedut. So you don't understand how much is involved in that statement. There's so much in there that you can't possibly imagine. There's gold, and there's rubies, and there's jewels, and there's jangi, and there's babki, and whatever else you guys like to do. Okay? Everything is in that hour. The hour is crucial. And whatever you have to do, So I'm proposing, maybe if you want to prepare yourself over the next few days, that starting from Hanukkah for 8 straight days, we do 8 days of an hour a day. I think you can do it.
I
So start now, 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
And Hanukkah we'll do.
Listen, if you do the hour of a day for 8 straight days and you come back to me and you're like, my life is not better. I don't feel happier. I don't feel less stress. I don't feel less worries. I don't feel more trust with HaShem. I don't feel more Amunah. Right? If you don't feel all those things, okay, so go back to doing whatever you're doing. Twiddling your thumbs. But I'm telling you that if you do an hour a day straight, you are going to feel amazing.
To be shomer bit also 100%.
100%. Those two together, 100%. Everybody asks me all the time, I'm going through this. I'm going through this. I'm going through that. I give every single person the same exact advice. Come to the classes at night and do whatever you're supposed to do during the day. You're good. I'm telling you, there's not one guy who comes to this class that's doing the hour and coming to the classes and isn't doing good. This is the key. You're always looking, you go to motivational speakers. You're paying lots of money. I'm giving it to you on a platter. Here it is. This is it. Hour of your boat do it, Likutey Moharan at night. You're going to be really happy. Everything's going to be gravy. Good. More.
Repeat that stuff at the beginning, like you run things to thank for, to
Impossible.
or to ask for. It becomes repetitive.
Can I say?
Yeah.
Well, is you get into that hour or you get into that mood that just by thinking is 1 hour. Just by thinking, I think thank you because I used to have hair and now I don't have hair. Thank you because I see. Thank you because I could see the blessings. Thank you for the blessings I see, and 1,000 times thank you for the blessings I don't see. Thank you for the miracles I see. Thank you for 1,000 times thank you for the miracles I don't see. Thank you for I could read Torah. Thank you because you give me strength not to put pornography or anything improper in front of my eyes. Thank you because I could see the colors. I could see the forms. I could see. Thank you for my ears. Thank you because I could hear you. Allow me to hear your voice in every people that speak to me to get close to you. Allow me to control my ears not to hear any improper music or lashon hara or anything. Thank you because I could praise you with my mouth. Thank you because I could speak to people about you. Thank you because I could eat and allow all the food that I eat to have power so I could praise you, to have health so I could serve you. You know what I'm saying?
That's almost 20 minutes right there.
Thank you for my brain. Thank you for
Part of the reason.
All the thinking?
Okay.
An hour.
First of all, it is true. If you do a real good 20 minutes of thanking, you have an hour to do, for sure. On top of that, you have to realize part of the reason you're not happy is because you're not thankful for everything in your life. You're only thankful for some things, okay? When you realize you don't deserve anything and everything is a gift, you have a shirt on your back, you're very lucky. You had food to eat today, you're extremely lucky, right? The fact that you're not thanking for that is because you don't realize truth. You don't realize reality.
You think it's obligated to you.
Yeah, everything should be. Every single day in my Hiboda dude, part of my thanks is I say thank you for Benjamin. I say thank you for Abraham. I say thank you for Daniel. I say thank you for Yitzchak. I say thank you for Mike. I say thank you for Levi. Every single day. I never miss one of these because you don't have to be in my life. You don't have to come to this class. You don't have to be here. You don't have to have any of these things. And also, part of my asking for is for all of you. I pray for each and every one of you based on whatever I think that you need or based on whatever you told me you're struggling with. So there's so much to pray for. There's so much to thank for. There's so much you just have to open up your mind and realize that everything is a free gift. Everything. Nothing has to be. Nothing. You live in a first world country. You're very, very lucky. You have a mom or a dad that's still alive. Even if you hate them, you're lucky that you even have one. You're lucky that you have a brother who bothers you versus someone who doesn't have a brother. You're lucky that your food isn't infested with flies, right? You're lucky that your eyes are not one is here, one is here. You're lucky you don't have that cleft lip. The reason why we don't have new things to thank for is because we don't realize how much HaShem is doing for us. That's the whole exile. Everything doesn't have to be. Nothing has to be. You woke up. You know how many people would love to be married right now? You're married. You know how many people would love to have kids? You have kids. You know how many people struggle for 10, 15, 20 years? The Lubavitcher Rebbe probably more than anybody wanted a child. He couldn't have one his whole entire life. You know what he would do? You know what you know what he would commit to Hashem? How many hours of Hebo to do? He would do a day to have one kid, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's not ending.
He did have a lot of kids. He still has.
I'm just trying to explain. We don't need to have anything.
We take it for granted.
100%. We take everything for granted. Everything. We're very, very lucky. Right? If I took you, for instance, Chas v'Shalom, and we went back 70 years, and we were part of that generation that one day they were just taken from their homes and brought into gas chambers, brought to camps, had their heads shaved, had no food to eat, no drinks to drink, and they were working like cats and dogs. They were burying themselves. They were doing experiments with them. You would look back at your life and be like, you are a freaking idiot that you were ever sad, that you ever thought something was wrong. You would beg Hashem that you could ever go back to your crappy life that you thought you had. That's the best life. It's just ignorance. We don't understand how lucky we are. And the only way to remember is to thank Hashem, is to talk to Hashem about it. Thank you, lucky.